Congratulations, you've got yourself a new camera, and what we're going to do today is unbox this new camera and we're going to set it up for the first time. So I'll walk you through this step by step and let you know exactly what you need to do. We're not going to waste any time, we're going to get straight into the camera. If you've already bought the camera, you know what it's capable of. EOS M50 Mark II, a very good camera for multi-use situations. It does very nice photos, does very nice video. We get a user guide in the top, and that will guide us through the process. So we'll give you some information as we go through this. We'll do each step. So we can go initial preparation. Let's get it out of the box first, shall we? We've got additional bit of information here about image.canon. This camera does support Wi-Fi, so you can save to the Google Drive and upload the photos directly, which is a nice benefit. So interesting. We get the box, we open up the box. We're going to get a few little tidbits. So we've got the charging option here. We'll look at that in a second, and that is for the battery charging. So we're going to look at that in more detail. I'll show you how you do that. If you're totally new to photography, don't worry, this will be aimed at you to help you sort out this camera specifically. So we've got the camera itself. We'll get rid of all the bubble wrap and stuff, and then we can just look at the camera. So there's the camera. Okay, yep. We've got the little, I don't normally attach these, but I will attach it just to show you how. And then we've got battery, which will need charging. Bam. And we've got the lens. I think that's everything we need. Slinky, that's how we roll. The music is what makes it. So here we go. We have got a small lens. I'm gonna go into that in more detail. Let me get rid of the box. Okay, so that is the box. Out the way. Okay, so first up we're gonna say the strap, the camera, the battery, the charging system here, and the cable. So what shall we start with? Let's start with the initial strap, shall we? Or shall we get rid of the charger? Let's do the charger first. So we will look at the charging dock system first. So this is the battery charger. You've got indicators of charge and full. You'll see the unit has power connectivity. You plug it in, and then that goes into the mains, the socket. And the charging of the battery itself, you can see there's some gold terminals here. You've got some terminals down here. So you simply slot the battery in and it clicks in place and let that charge. You want a good charge in the first time when you're using it. To take the battery out is a little dip here. You can push and just pull the battery out. So once that's charged, that is the battery. We can get rid of the charger because we've covered that now. And let's have a, so while it's charging, it's going to be orange. When it's fully charged, it will go green. So when it's a green, you can start using the battery on the charger itself. So we have got our memory card here as well. So if you want to insert the memory card in the battery, I'll show you that now. So the camera itself will come with a body cap already attached. You basically go to the bottom of the camera and you can hold this and it flicks out. So you can see here, all that I did was flick open. We've got two slots here. First, I'll put in the memory card. It will be a SD memory card. You can slide it and lock it in just there. Push it and it comes out. So let me show you that again. There's a dedicated slot just there. Push, push. So let's put that in. And then the battery will be an interesting one. The battery will go in as such. You can use the battery to push that little spring. You see that spring there? Because some people try and do like try and do that thing there, but you don't need to. You can use the battery just to push it and then locks in place. If you're putting it in the wrong way, just in case you do, if you put it in the wrong way, it won't lock down. It'll just kind of bounce. So that means you're putting it in the wrong way. So here, locked in, down, and then just lock that in place. So that's the card and battery inserted. To take it out, if you need to charge it or remove the battery, just that little grey knob there, just pull that to one side. The battery will bounce out. just as such, put it back in. You can take the memory card out, change the memory card. There is one issue here, the main thing being that both the memory card and the battery are in under the same flap. If you use a tripod like plates, it does cover that. So, you know, FYI mates, you know, keep that in mind. Okay, so there is the camera itself, and that's how to take out the battery and the memory card. Next, we're going to look at lens. Here is the lens, fairly small lens. On the front you have a cap, take the cap off. On the back you have a lens, you just screw it and it screws off. There is a lens. Remember, this is a smaller camera system. Attaching the lens on the body itself, you've got this little cap, you spin that and it comes off. So right now, to put the lens onto the body, see there's a white little dot there. Locate the white dot on the lens, match those two up as such, and then turn. I'm turning anti-clockwise, but you'll get the feel for it. When you put it on, you can turn it. And that is the camera with a lens attached. We'll have a bit more of a look at this. It's just a little extra tip here. You know those little caps that we took off from the lens? If you have extra memory cards and you don't have a memory card holder, you can put your extra memory cards just inside there, and you can lock it up just like such. So that'll become like a makeshift memory card holder. So that works quite nicely for an extra little thing. So now we've added the lens on. What you'll notice on this model of lens, it has this extra little option here. What's that all about? So the camera is kept quite compact with this lens being small. However, to actually start, you need to see that there, hold that forward and spin the lens, so that like unlocks it. So now you can see it protrudes out a bit more. So if you're putting it away in your bag, think of that like a type of a lock. So you can pull it forward, lock it in place, and there it's locked, it won't move. So you just need to unlock that. So that's like a specialist type thing on this lens. Doesn't have, none of my other cameras have that, but the M50 Mark II has that. So it is designed for, well, to be user friendly by new people as well. So if you're new to photography, it's a great camera to get started with. Good options in the menu. So we've shown you that. You can simply lock that again like that. To remove the lens, if you do decide to buy upgrades for the camera and buy another lens, that is something worth doing. You can get a couple of good lenses for this camera. The lens mount is EFM for Mike. So make sure when you're buying the lenses, you search for EFM mount lenses, or you buy an adapter and then you can attach any lens. So over here, you have a little button. Push that button, hold the lens, just pull away, spin and pull away, and that'll take your lens off. And again, match up the dots, lock it in place. And considering the size, it's a very cute camera. I will show you a lineup of this compared to mirror. This is a mirrorless camera. I'll show you a crop sensor camera and a full body full sensor camera, so you can see the size comparison. Let me put them together and show you those now. So as you can see, is a quick comparison here. That is the camera itself. Canon M50 Mark II. Works very nicely. Great option. Small, compact. When I say it's easy to carry, that's why I say that, because that's it. So the next option next to it, here you can see it's slightly bigger. This is also due to the lens being more long. However, you can see the bodies are different in size, and this can be compared to like a Nikon D3500, also Canon T7 is that kind of size as well. Then you've got full frame bodies. You can see a lineup comparison there. Let's have a quick look top down. So there's one, there's two, there's three. Let's take the lens off. 1, 2, 3. So now you can see here, sensor, 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 full frame, bigger sensor, better depth of field, performs better in low light situations. You've got a bigger sensor to let in more light. Crop sensor, still good, but you get an extra focal distance because it's got a crop factor. Mirrorless, you can see the sensor straight away. Look at that green sensor there. So everything's kind of just there, and that gives you an idea of the bodies in comparison to the other lineup of camera bodies you can expect. So if you're thinking about size and it's important to get a camera that's nice and easy to keep with you, then that might be something to think about. So next we're going to look at a bit more information specifically about the Canon M50 Mark II. Let's have a look at that. So that's giving you a bit of extra information about the lens. How about now we start looking at the nitty gritty. So you can see here, something that I like about this camera is the viewfinder protrudes out a little bit. Because think about it, when you're holding the camera up to your face, this thing gets in the way. So it's nice that they've thought about that and give you a bit of extra protrusion so it comes to your eye. Works quite nicely. So that's something to think about. Also, we've got a hot shoe on the top, so you can put a flash on there, which works nicely. On the back of the camera, there's a few little benefits. It does have a flip out screen, very good, because if you're doing any type of vlogging photos, you can simply do that, pull that out, you can flip it around, and it's got a tilt on it. So for example, if I was doing a selfie, you've got a nice screen there to see. It is a touch screen, which works well. I will turn it on in a second. And also, if you don't want to use the screen, you can flip it around. It keeps it nice and clean. You don't get any nose smudges on there, if that ever happens to anyone. I don't know if it happens, but yeah. So on the back, we've got a few buttons. I'll bring you in close and show you around the camera so you know what the camera allows connectivity wise. So on the camera itself, you can see all the relevant buttons are in the right places. So when you're holding the camera, it's very comfortable to reach all the buttons, all the knobs, and you will notice you've got a manual option. If you're fully new to cameras, put it on the green one, which stands for auto, the green one there, auto. And also you've got a record button here which records video. You've got a half shutter release so you can focus and take a photograph. You've got the branding up here, EOS M50 Mark II. These metal divots here are designed for the strap, which I never use. Just gets them away. But if you're doing any holiday or snapping and you're new, put it on, put it around your neck in case someone bumps into you and you don't want to drop it basically. So here, let's get it started. Anything else I need to show you? We've got a tripod mount at the bottom. On the side, we've got a mic jack port. So you can put a mic into this. You can spin that around. You saw how I did that. Put it out and just spin it around so it hangs off like that. You can plug in a normal mic into there. You can add the mic on top like a shotgun type mic, or if you wanted to get a lavalier mic system, you can plug a lav in just like that, and there's a microphone. So if you're quite close to the camera, you can have that on a tripod. Obviously that works nicely. So that is your mic option there on that side. On the other side, you have a HDMI. HDMI is the mini micro HDMI, the smallest size you can get. So it's quite a small one. And then you've got an Android type, which is a micro USB. So micro USB and micro HDMI is your two options there. It is a clean HDMI, so you can get clean live streaming from it without the menus, and it also autofocuses. You've got a little Wi-Fi button there which enables the Wi-Fi option because it can Wi-Fi transfer files. So by turning it on, we simply go on. See a little light flash there. We have a memory card already inserted, and it's telling me because my lens isn't open, I need to do that. So now that is open. Oh wow, nice and bright viewfinder. I've taken a photograph, but obviously that's flipped around. So let's unflip that around, and you'll see when you touch the screen it actually takes a photograph. So if I go play, that was just the photograph I took. If I check that, well, I'm using these two buttons as zooming buttons. So if I go zoom in all the way, you'll see the camera that I'm recording this on is just there, which is fairly far away. You can see that with a nice big lens and the flip out screen. So that was just the picture I took. You can click this button to zoom back out. When you take a photograph, it is a good idea to use these to make sure that the image is good, focused, and well enabled. So that is a photograph. I click the play button to play that. Click play again. If you have your screen out this way, when you take a photograph, it will show. So let me zoom you out a bit so you can see this. Okay, so we've got our little moody. Let's tap on him. You'll see that when I was too close to him, it did not take the photograph, because there's a limit of how close you can get to your item. So for macro photography, for example, as soon as you go out a bit, tap, and that took a photograph. There's the photograph. Let's click play. Let's zoom in. Yeah, it's a bit overexposed because you're watching this on a camera, but it's taking the photo quite nicely. So that is as simple as putting it in the green mode and taking a photograph. Very easy to take photographs. How about video? So video is interesting. You can do this in a number of ways. You can flip this to the little camcorder symbol there, and we can start recording by pressing that button there. I'll show you more about that now. Okay, yeah. So now that we're in the camera mode, you'll see we've got a little red symbol there which allows us to record. So you just tap on it, it'll start recording. And if you're doing a selfie, you can just flip the screen out. Hello, testing. How is this looking? It actually looks very nice, to be honest, for colors, straight out of auto mode. Okay, so let me have a review back of that video I just recorded. Again, I can tap that to stop recording, flip the screen back into position, press play. There's the video clip. There you go. It looks a bit bright because my camera is a bit bright, but actually on here it's perfectly exposed. There, that was a recording of a video. So you've basically done both things. You've taken a photograph, you've taken a video. So if you want to get a bit more fancy, you can use the different modes. I have done a full course explaining all the modes and how you use them, but let's just go to manual. Let's go to auto. I'll stick in auto because I'm assuming a lot of people that buy this will be in that mode. So when you get the camera, there is a few things to think about, which are the modes in how it shows you. So if I go to auto mode and go menu, that's the menu button there, you can look at options here. I'll show you some of the main options that you'll want to think about because they're quite important if you're taking photographs. So let's look. You can touchscreen it. I've got a little stylus here because I've got fat fingers, so you can just touchscreen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's that there. You can go through the menus. They're different colors. So the red menu is a camera, playback is blue, Wi-Fi is purple, settings is yellow, and then green is that one. So let's look more at these modes individually. So the first mode there being the camera mode, we can choose the movie recording options. You tap on it, it gives you this. You tap on it again, you've got full HD at 50 frames a second. You got full HD at 25 frames a second. Just select the one you want. You got HD at 50. So you've got a few options there for video recording. You can press OK. You can go back. Sound recording on, which is basically the mic being on. Then you've got, that's number 6, number 5, number 4. Well, yeah, it depends what you're looking to do. But if you are doing live streaming, you need to know a certain menu option, which would be in, let me confirm for you. I literally just turned it off because I had it in that mode. So what we will notice is because it's in the auto mode there, we're not getting all the options here for what we want. So let's put it into video mode. So now that it's in video mode, you can go menu and then you will get additional menus. So you remember it went up to 6 before, now it goes to 7, 8, 9. So 8, shooting info display. You can select what shows when your screen is showing, but the main option you want is number 9, HDMI info display. You go to clean full HD output. Okay, that means there will be no menus on the screen when you're live streaming, which is like a big plus. A lot of people look for that, number 9. But make sure you're in video mode and then you do that, otherwise you won't get it. Because I did that myself. I was in photo mode, and when I went to menu, See, only went up to 6, so I didn't have the option. So that's the extra option for live streaming, and overall it's not a bad little setup. So that's a quick breakdown of the camera. I'm hoping that gives you enough information. The main thing with this is the more time you spend with the camera, the more photographs you take, the better you will become at using it. So don't be shy and play about with it. Hopefully this helps you as a quick setup guide and some of the main things you need to do for the camera itself. And I'll link you to another video here about other cameras you can think about getting, or even lenses. So I'll see you on that.